tonight we're going to be talking about Chris Breezy. He has pleaded guilty to the case he had out in the UK, and also for that case he had with one of the housekeepers that he had who had been mauled by a dog. They're trying to come for the money. He's getting on this tour with Usher. So we're going to talk about that. We are going to talk about Chadwick Boseman's widow. She is being sued by his brothers. It's given the same drama that's going on with Malcolm Jamal Warner's widow and his mom. Seems like they don't think that she's running the estate properly. So we're going to get into what's going on there. Super unfortunate because both men, Malcolm Jamal Warner and Chadwick Boseman, were private. So to have their family drama out here like this is super unfortunate. Then we got 21 Savage. His nephew has passed away. He allegedly pow-powed his sister. And when he pow-powed his sister, I guess it was just a little bit too much for him. And we're talking about what he ended up doing after that. Really sad situation going on there. And lastly, we're going to get into, or we got a couple more. Actually, we're going to get into Ryan Clark losing his job with ESPN out here on podcast, crying, talking about losing his job with ESPN. We're going to get into that. And the new Black Panther has been announced. So we're going to come on and talk about that as well. So get ready here. About to dive into our stories for today. We're going to start with Chris Breezy. So he's got a good thing going on with this tour that he has with Usher, but he has some legal drama and that is not going anywhere. So we're going to talk about that because he's got two cases now that looks like he has not won or doing well with, and he has judgments that he's going to need to pay, and all of that adds up. So we're going to look at what's going on with the case that he had with his housekeeper, Maria Avila, and this is reporting from TMZ. She's trying to come for that tour money that he has with Usher because he's out with Usher right now. The tour seems to be doing well. I'm hearing very good things about it, but because it's doing well, she said, I'm going to need that money because she got a $13 million win from him, judgment, so he needs to pay that money, and she's trying to collect. She said he has not paid her any money. So we'll get into these details. I'm going to take a quick drink of water. All right, let's get into it. This is reporting from TMZ. Chris Brown's former housekeeper, Maria Avila, is on the hunt for nearly $13 million she is owed for the vicious dog attack at the R&B singer's home, and she wants to get her paws on the money he's making from his tour with Usher. TMZ has learned. As you come in, let me know you are here in the comments. I want to give you a shout out for stopping by. Appreciate you coming into the live. In court docs obtained by TMZ, Maria said Chris has, quote, made no effort to satisfy any portion of the judgment, end quote, and now she wants the court to give her full access to Chris's financial records so she can seize what she's owed. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think Chris is avoiding paying her, or he just doesn't have the money? Let me know what you think is going on why he has not started making any payments or made any arrangements with her to start making payments towards this settlement. Let me know what you think in the comments here. I'm actually going to put a little poll up here. Type it up. And you're going to let me know on here if you think he's trying to avoid paying her. All right, let's get this up. All right, so I had to cut off some of the words here, but I put up the poll, so let me know. Now I started the poll, so let me know on there. Do you think Chris Brown is avoiding paying for this judgment? And we're going to get back into the story here. Maria points out that Chris is currently on tour with Usher for the R&B tour, which she says he is being paid handsomely. The former housekeeper said she wants all payments for the tour, any entertainment related projects or residuals directed to her because Chris does not appear willing to work with her to get the judgment paid off. Maria also wants Chris to be ordered to appear in court for an examination of his finances. So she is not playing. She's trying to get that money. Welcome, Beast Edits. Appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you take that poll. Let me know if you think Chris Brown is avoiding paying this judgment that is owed in the case where a dog that was on his property had mauled the housekeeper, really tore up her face. And she awarded a judgment. So he needs to pay that, but according to her, he has not done so. And if you are enjoying the content, you can support Aries Rose TV to bring you more great stories by the Cash App that's right up there. We will make sure and shout out anybody who does donations on a community post and on the live. You will be recognized for supporting the channel. And thank you so much, Tanner, for subscribing. I really appreciate that. Welcome to the Aries crew. And let's get back into this story. As TMZ first reported, Chris was ordered to pay the massive judgment after the jury trial last month. All right, so thank y'all for filling out the poll. I'm going to be ending it here if I can. Let's see. There we go. So I just ended that, and we'll do some other polls throughout the show, but 75% of us think that he's trying to avoid paying. I think so, because why haven't you reached out to make arrangements? Or maybe he's just waiting to see how it goes on the tour, what kind of money he makes. That could be possible too. He, I'm sure, has other bills. And let's look at what's going on with this situation out in the UK, because he pled guilty to that. So we're going to get into that reporting as well. And this is reporting from TMZ, so we can see what was going on with this particular case. And as you come in, the only price of admission we ask is that you hit that like button. It lets me know you're here. It lets YouTube know that you are here. And then drop a comment in here. I want to give you a shout out for stopping by. And when you do subscribe, please let me know. I want to make sure and acknowledge you for being a part of the Aries crew. All right, let's get into this reporting from TMZ. So Chris Brown was just convicted in the court of law after pleading guilty to attacking a music producer in a London nightclub. So that's 2 for 2. I don't know if he's got any other lawsuits, but he didn't win this one. That's not a good look. These things cost so much money when you have to go to court. You got to pay lawyers. You have fees to file and fees for everything. And this is in another country, so he may have to fly over there. I don't know what arrangements they may have for him appearing or providing any information, or if it's all done via a lawyer. But if you can avoid this drama, it's best to do so, because there's no use in having a whole lot of money if you always got to be in and out of court paying a lawyer or paying somebody off because they won some money from you. Don't let that money come out of your hands for your family, for yourself, for your legacy. Do what you got to do to avoid this type of stuff. It's just very unfortunate. Let's see. This situation happened at a London nightclub 3 years ago. So it looks like it takes a while for stuff to happen over in the UK, apparently. The rapper and his co-defendant, I'm not even going to try. I'm going to butcher the name. It's Omololu, Akinlolu, appeared Friday in London's Southwark Crown Court, where they copped to a charge of a fray relating to attack on Abraham Diawa in London's Tape nightclub in February 2023, according to the court spokesperson. The two admitted that they, quote, used or threatened unlawful violence towards another, and their conduct taken together was such as would cause a person of reasonable firmness to fear for their personal safety, end quote. You gotta love the Brits. That was a whole lot of word salad just to say that you were verbally threatened, and like it seems serious when you put it all together with who told you and what they're capable of doing. That was a whole lot to say that. That's kind of crazy. But we love them. Shout out to the UK. All right, let's see. Prosecutors agreed to dismiss the more serious charge of attempting to inflict grievous bodily harm. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not, because I don't know much about the UK law. If you are from the UK and know something about the law, what comes with the charge of attempting to inflict serious grievous bodily harm? Is that like a felony equivalent here in the US? Let me know. All right, let's see. Brown and Akinlolu are set to be sentenced on October 26th. So that means you're going to get that update here on Aries Rose TV a little bit after that date, or probably on that date, the way TMZ be getting information. So make sure you are a subscriber and you have your notifications on so you don't miss out, because we will be bringing you that information here. And then we're going to be sliding into our next story here. Wishing Chris the best. Let me know, has anybody checked out the Chris Brown and Usher concert? Has anybody gone? I did not have an opportunity to check them out, or Monica and Brandy. And I know I got to get out here and see these legends before they're no longer here. I didn't get a chance to see Michael before he passed, Michael Jackson. I didn't get a chance to see Prince in concert before he passed, or Whitney Houston. And I got to do a story time on me getting this close to seeing Whitney Houston, and that didn't work out. We'll do a story time on that one day, because I'm still bitter, and that was a long time ago, but that hurt because I'm never going to get an opportunity to see her again. So I know I got to get out here, but some of these concert ticket prices are kind of crazy, so I may have to enjoy them on YouTube. All right, so we're going to jump into Chadwick Boseman. His widow, unfortunately, is going through some drama with the family. So his widow is being sued by his brothers. I'm not sure if mom and dad's involved, but his brothers are suing the widow because they don't think she's handling the estate properly. My understanding, King T'Challa, Black Panther, he will always be Black Panther to me. I don't care whether he's living or not. He will always be Black Panther regardless. It's my understanding he didn't have a will. If you have any assets, if you have anything, it doesn't matter how little or how small. If you have kids, make sure you have your wishes for when you pass outlined, because it's just horrible what ends up happening in families if you don't outline what you want them to do when you are no longer here. When you cannot speak, your wishes cannot be honored. And then it causes this kind of drama because people are just going to be operating on what they think is best, what they think you want to do, and there's going to be times when that doesn't agree. But if you, the person who owns the money, the person who owns the assets, whatever it is, sets out what they want, that kind of eliminates all that drama happening in the family. And I wish that would have happened in this particular case. But we're going to get into what's going on, what the family is saying here in the lawsuit that they filed. And this is given the same energy as the lawsuit that's been filed against Mama Warner by Malcolm Jamal Warner's widow, Dr. Tanisha Warner. She's filing for $1.2 million because she's saying there's prenuptial agreements that were not honored before he passed, and you're going to need to give me that money. And that's very unfortunate, and we are following that here as well, so you'll get your updates on what's going on with that particular situation on Aries Rose TV. And then when I came across this, I thought, that's crazy how it's so similar. And, again, certain things, if they were taken care of when they were alive, all of this could have been avoided. But we're going to see what's going on here. And let's see if the family, what they're saying that she's not doing or hasn't been forthcoming with. I believe they were saying that she hasn't provided like an accounting of all the money that has come in for his particular estate, and that there's money owed to the family for different things. So we're going to get into this reporting from TMZ. See, this is right here, I think, where he was at his prime, when he was King T'Challa for that Black Panther thing he did in the Winter Soldier movie, and then his own Black Panther movie. Like, that's when he was like, right, that was fire. That was fire. So when he passed, it was just totally crushing because I had no idea he was sick. Let's get into this story. Chadwick Boseman's brothers want his widow to be removed as the administrator of his estate nearly 6 years after his death. Can you believe it's been 6 years? Leave a black heart in the comments if you can't believe it's been 6 years since Chadwick Boseman passed away. Leave a black heart in the comments for Black Panther here. and they're petitioning the court to have it done ASAP. They want his wife off. Kevin and Derek Boseman beeline to the Los Angeles court Friday and submitted legal docs outlining a list of reasons why they believe Chadwick Boseman's wife, Taylor Simone Ledward Boseman, has mismanaged the estate and why she should be removed from having control. Now, this one is Derek. This is his brother, Derek, and we can tell Chadwick got the looks. That's just my opinion. No disrespect, Derek. I'm sure you're a wonderful person, but Chadwick would be the brother I'm going for. Be like, hi, how you doing? But where's your brother? But this is Derek, and then this is the other brother, whose name I believe is Kevin, and this is Kevin. So he kind of favors Chadwick, but again, Chadwick is the cute one. So I'll be like, where's your other brother? That's who I'm looking for. No disrespect, because I'm sure you're a nice person. Now they're coming for his wife because they don't think that she's doing right. Now, I'm gonna have to do a poll on this one actually. So this poll is gonna be, do you think that the family should have any involvement in this estate, or should they let the wife do what the wife wants to do with the estate? Now, I fall on the lines of, I think it's the wife's. If she wants to do it, then she'll do it. And if she doesn't, then she doesn't. I don't think it's for the family. Once you get married, he built a bond, and now his new family is his wife. And I'm praying it's not about the money. I don't know what Chadwick told his brothers. I don't know what these arrangements were, any of that stuff. Or if she really is mismanaging. I don't know. That's going to be for the... But let's put up here, do you think the wife should manage the estate or the brothers? And I know we don't know all the details. This is just for doing a poll here. See what you think on this. What do you think should manage the estate? I'm going to put this poll up here, and then let me know as soon as you see it. Bear with me while I type this in. Oops, wife. I'm going to put as an option, or brothers. And then we're going to read off the results here as we start to get the response. All right, so when you see the poll, let me know who should manage the estate, his wife or the brothers. And let's keep it moving in the story here so we can see the list of reasons why they believe his wife is mismanaged the estate. And let me know your thoughts on who should manage it here on the poll. And back in the story, in the docs obtained by TMZ, Kevin and Derek claim Taylor left the entire family in the dark about the status of the estate, despite a 2022 court order that said their parents, Leroy and Carolyn Boseman, were legally entitled to a combined 50% share. Okay, so now, and I knew it had to do something with the monies, but they said 50%. So he must have a big estate, because they say, we not just gonna let you slide, baby girl. I wants to get that money. Daryl, welcome. Appreciate you stopping by. Are you part of the Aries crew? If you are not, we'd love to have you as an Aries crew member. And let's see here. The court order gave Taylor control of the other half after Chadwick died without a will in place. But nearly 4 years later, first-time subscriber, welcome, Darrell. Appreciate you being here. Welcome to the Aries crew. Thank you so much. And we got a vote for the brothers. We're going to keep this poll up while we're telling the story. Let me know who you think should be managing the estate. His brothers are suing his wife. And we're talking about the reasons they listed for why she should not be managing the estate. But nearly 4 years later, Chadwick's brothers allege his widow has not finished distributing the estate's assets and has continued controlling it completely on her own. So the money must not have made its way over to mom and dad. Chadwick's estate includes money from movie residuals and royalties. I'm sure that Marvel money is long. Leave a little money bag emoji in the comments if you agree, because I know they want to get them hands on that Marvel money, that Avengers Endgame, that Avengers Infinity War money is sweet. You got what? 2 Black Panther movies did he do? Or I know he was Black Panther, that Winter Soldier. And no, I think he only did 1 Black Panther movie because the second one had his sister filling in on that. But we're going to talk about what's going on with Black Panther after this story. We're also going to be talking about Ryan Clark out here crying on podcast about losing his job with ESPN and a tragedy that has struck Savage 21's family. So we got more stories. Stay tuned for your messy Mondays here on Aries Rose TV. Right, so let's see what else is included in Chadwick's estate. Looks like that money was long. He's got royalties, his image and intellectual property rights, investments, insurance policies, bank accounts, and personal belongings. And his brothers claim his family has no clue about what's going on with any of it. This includes the more than $3 million in assets in various bank accounts. How they know he got $3 million in various assets and bank accounts? Inquiring minds want to know. I love my sisters, but they would not be knowing the kind of money I have in my bank accounts here like that. But that's interesting. Let's see. Chadwick's brothers say his widow still needs to transfer long-term care insurance policy to their mother, properly close and distribute money from Chadwick's various bank accounts, an account for SAG-AFTRA, residual payments. So he was a member of that union, and that union is no joke for the actors. So once you get in, I hear it's a really good union to be a part of. Don't forget to let me know on this poll here. Who do you think should manage the estate, his brothers or his wife? We're going through a list of reasons. His brothers say his wife should be removed from running the estate. Let's see. So they want to get these residual payments Chadwick earned after his death and collect and distribute unclaimed property belonging to Chadwick. They say this has left Chadwick's parents without funds and insurance they're entitled to and prevented them from pursuing business opportunities, including Chadwick's legacy, caused emotional and allowed Taylor to continue to solely profit off of Chadwick's name and image. Woo! So messy. So messy. And thank you, Thurl. I appreciate you noticing that for the image that I have up. Thank you so much. That is just so messy. I am so sad to hear about this because in his life, Chadwick was very private. And I'm wondering, we're going to gossip just a little bit. Do you think the brothers didn't like his wife the whole time? Like, I always wonder when these things happen, did they not like you to begin with? And this just kind of gave them a reason to do something now because he's not here, like that bridge that makes that go smoothly because they don't want to do anything that would upset their brother. Well, he's not here anymore, so they probably don't care about expressing how they feel. Just very sad. Very, very sad. Let's get back into this story. As they say, Taylor is well aware of the issues and they have made numerous pleas for her to set things straight. Kevin and Derek are now asking the court to hold Taylor in contempt for failing to follow the court's 2022 order and force her to distribute the remaining estate assets as well as provide a complete accounting of the estate within 30 days. Woo! They also want to permanently remove her as an administrator and appoint attorney Jason Rubin to take over. So we're going to be following this story right now. It looks like you guys are on the side of the brothers. So it looks like, at least that you were hearing, people weren't feeling. So that's the vote for the brothers. Okay. Okay. Well, we'll be doing some more polls here. But we are going to now jump into what's going on with Black Panther. So it's going to continue even though King T'Challa, the original Black Panther, who will always be the original Black Panther, is resting in power in heaven. They're going to continue this. And they have chosen who they are going to continue Black Panther with. And I'm actually here for it. We're going to talk about it. I'm really excited about this one. So while we're on the topic of what's going on with that, let's do some happier news related to Black Panther. This young man David Johnson is going to be carrying the torch for Black Panther in Black Panther 3. That's going to be coming out December 15th, 2028. And I am here for it. So this young actor first fell on my radar with the movie The Long Walk. And it's a movie that was adapted from a Stephen King book. It was a phenomenal movie. Very graphic. It deals in a very heavy subject, very dystopian type of a movie, but you know, we're also talking Stephen King, and I know he's got range, but his movies are usually dark and strange, and this one is right along those lines. It's dark and strange, but it was a really good movie. I love The Long Walk. I did a review on it, so if you want to hear my thoughts about it, what I enjoyed, check out my review on that. But he was like a scene stealer in that movie. So I think he's a great Black Panther. Let me know what you think. You know what we're going to do? We're going to do a poll. So you can tell me here, do you think this is a good new Black Panther? Are you happy with David Johnson as the new Black Panther? And I'm going to put this poll up. And he spells his last name with a double S and no H. So it's not a misspelling. I'm going to put this poll up because I want to know what you think. I'm happy about it myself. I think it's going to be good. And as far as I'm concerned, if Ryan Coogler signed off on it, then it's all good. And he was standing on the stage when they made the announcement about him being Black Panther. So I was like, okay, he brought us Michael B. Jordan. He brought us Chadwick Boseman in that role. He knows what's needed. If he sees something in him, who am I to question that? I will be there in December to watch this movie. I'll be there opening weekend, as I always am, to support any Black Panther movie that comes out, any movie that Ryan Coogler puts out. I will be there opening weekend. But let me know how you feel about David Johnson taking up the mantle as Black Panther. Now, I don't believe they're going to try to make him out to be T'Challa. He is supposed to be the child that we saw at the end of the second one, Wakanda Forever. The child that I want to say it was like in the end credits, maybe the end of the movie, when Suri goes to Mexico or wherever she goes, and she ends up meeting up with Black Panther's main squeeze, Lupita, who I can't remember her name from the movie right now. It's been a while since I've seen it. But she's out there with her child that she had that none of us knew she was pregnant with. She's out there with that baby, and the child's what, 5, 6, whatever. And then I think that David's supposed to be that child, so he's not trying to be that Black Panther. He's going to be his own. He's going to take up the mantle for his father. And I'm here for it. But if not him, if you are thinking, I don't know about David, who else would you have wanted to play Black Panther if not David Johnson? And I don't even know who I'd want to play him, because since they announced this, I was like, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I don't even think I had anybody else in mind to play that role. But if you think somebody else would be a good Black Panther, let me know in the comments. But I say definitely give this young man a chance, because he is a good actor. I think he knows the importance of that role to the Black community, he knows that importance of that role in general, and I just have no doubt that he will carry the torch properly and represent that role properly. But that's a lot of pressure. That is a lot of pressure. I don't know that I want that pressure on me, but I'm going to support, at least initially, so don't be messing it up, David. We're going to be out there, see how you do. And we got 2 votes, so it's looking like everybody is good with him being the Black Panther, and we're going to see how he does in the role. And did anybody check out that Doomsday trailer? What did you guys think of the Doomsday trailer? Let me know in the comments for the Avengers. If there's an interest, I'll do a review on that. I might do that as a short. Now we're going to get into 21 Savage. Had some unfortunate family drama unfold. So 21 Savage fell on my radar this year because I don't really listen to his music. I'm sure he's talented. but I just don't really follow. But he kind of fell on my radar this year when Lotto announced that she was pregnant. And then there started to be speculation that the father of that child is 21 Savage, who is married, but not married to Lotto. So she allegedly had a child with a man who is married. And it's my understanding Savage 21 is not denied that being the case here. So I'll say allegedly until he fully comes out and says it, but that's kind of the rumor that's been going on. That's when he kind of came on my radar, and that's a blessing. That's a good reason. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to Lotto. I believe it's her first child. It's a blessing to have children, but unfortunately, he had some family drama go on, and he had a nephew that lost his life. So this young man here is Savage 21's nephew, and I'm not sure if this is his sister or not, but he allegedly pow-powed his sister in the neck, and unfortunately, after doing that, his family feels that he just couldn't take it. Maybe, was worried about the consequence, what people were going to say. Maybe he thought his sister had passed. I'm not sure what was kind of going through their mind, but he ended up self-deleting, and it's so sad because he's a child. I am going under the assumption that the pow-powing of his sister was an accident, but unfortunately that's not something that he can confirm, and I don't know if the sister is able to speak, but I did understand that she is alive from what's currently known. So we're going to get into this story, this reporting from TMZ. A 14-year-old boy identified as the nephew to rapper 21 Savage has taken his own life after allegedly pow-powing his sister in the neck, according to the family. Cops say they arrived at the scene after receiving reports of pow pows Wednesday, where they found two people pow-powed, a boy and a girl. I could not imagine. I could not imagine. My heart goes out to them for sure. That's a lot to take in. Police say the boy, 7, Shirley, was found with a pow pow wound and no signs of life. The girl identified by the family is 12-year-old Lyric. So we're talking I guess teens, right? 14 and 12 teens, but still early teens. Oh, sad. Suffered a pow pow wound to the neck and was taken to the hospital for emergency medical treatment. Lyric has gone through multiple surgeries this week, and it's unclear when she'll be cleared by doctors to return home. Definitely prayers out to that family. It's a very unfortunate situation. I hope that she will be able to recover. It's too bad that that decision was made by 7. Let's get into what his grandmother had to say about that. 7's grandmother, Sharon Smith, who raised 7 from the time he was 11 months old, told the local outlet 11 Alive he self-deleted after pow-powing his sister. She says, quote, just that fast, that boy made the decision to self-delete. He probably sat up there and thought, I'm finna go to jail. They're going to ridicule me. Everybody's going to be doing this and that and this and that and this and that. And he couldn't take it, end quote. And that could very well have been something that goes through your mind. It had to have been an accident, and I'm sure he just probably had a moment of just completely freaking out, not knowing what to do, how to handle it, or what a potential consequence is going to be. Smith says she does not know how 7 got the pow pow, but she hopes the person who sold it to him is brought to justice. And I hope so too, because there's no reason you should be selling pow pows to 14-year-olds. I need to know, how did you get that, and why did you even have it with your sister? Like, there's so many questions about how we even landed in this situation to begin with. 21 Savage, who 11 Alive reports has been identified as an uncle to 7, posted about the young man after his passing, sharing a picture of him when he was a young child with the caption, quote, remember when you was a baby, end quote. The family released a statement which in part reads, quote, as our family grieves, we are asking our community to stand with us in another way. Please help us get these pow-pows off our streets. Far too many young lives are being taken by senseless pow-pow violence. We must work together to stop the illegal sale and access of pow-pows to minors. and do everything we can to protect our children, end quote. If you are suffering from any type of mental illness where you think you might want to do any self-deletion, please get help. Text 988 or call 988 to talk to somebody, because it's never that serious. That is not the answer. Things can always change. There's always something else that can be done, but 2 babies, a family that is going to be impacted forever. My heart definitely goes out to them. May he rest in peace. And now we're going to get on over to Ryan Clark. Before we do that, we want to let you know about an opportunity to be a sponsor for Aries Rose TV. We'd love to partner with you. So if you are interested in finding out how you can partner, I will have a link in the description that you can fill out, and we'll definitely follow up with you. Love to work with you. And now we're going to get into Ryan Clark out here crying on these podcasts on losing his job with ESPN. Now, I understand that it's an emotional type of a situation. And I'm going to tell you right now, if I lose my job, I would be crying too. I'm not even going to pretend like I would not be out here crying too. However, what I would not be doing is I would not be out here crying on no podcast, no national television show for the whole world to see as a grown woman. I'm going to do that in the privacy of my own home with my family and my friends. But when you see me, I'm going to be composed. I'm going to have my together, and you will see me unbothered like Omarion. That's the only way you're going to see me in public. That's the only way I'm going to present myself, is unbothered. That's what I'm going to need you to do too, Ryan. You are such a handsome man. And then when I saw you out here crying like this, it just totally threw it off for me. It just totally threw it off. I was like, come on. I know you're not out here crying behind no job. You cry if you lost somebody. Cry. There's just other things to be out here crying about, but not a job, especially when I'm sure you can land on your feet. Now, how they let him go was savage, and we are going to get into that. That was really tacky on ESPN's part. I did not think that was really a professional way to handle it. And I can totally see where he would have felt like that was disrespectful, because I think that was disrespectful. But still, the emotions, we got to hold those for who needs to see those. But we don't need to put that out there for everybody. That's not for everybody. Everything is not for everybody. And we're going to get into what he was talking about when he was on this podcast about losing his job with ESPN. This reporting from TMZ. Ryan Clark is finally speaking out about his abrupt exit from ESPN, and things got emotional. Former safety turned long-term network analyst broke down in tears while reflecting on his more than a decade-long stay with the worldwide leader during the latest episode of his Pivot podcast. The waterworks started when Fred Taylor, Ryan's co-host, asked him if there was anything he'd do differently in hindsight, prompting the emotional response. Quote, that's a good question. It depends on when you ask me. When I see people in public, OGs, aunties and stuff, and they tell me they're proud of me, and they're proud of, like Clark said before, stopping to collect himself, and they're proud of like the way I represent the community, yeah, I wouldn't change anything because that means the world to me. End quote. The answer didn't only have RC fighting back tears, but it also had an impact on Channing Crowder, whose eyes welled up. So yeah, he was spreading the emotions while he was what was going on with that job. Clark also made it clear that he wasn't part of corporate layoffs. He was intentionally fired because some of the powers that be don't like him. ESPN hasn't been overly talkative about Ryan's exit, and larger cuts were made, but some prominent employees have, including Stephen A. Smith, who publicly expressed frustration on how everything went down with Ryan Clark. They fired him on a commercial break while his show was on the air. That was tacky. That could have been handled very differently by ESPN, and for a business of their stature, their longevity, I would have expected a more professional handling of telling somebody that they no longer have a job with you, whether or not you like them. I think there is still a level of professionalism that should be expected, that should be given out to every employee that comes through your door, because no matter what, they did do some work for you. He did help your network. He did bring 2 Emmys to your network. So at least have some respect for that person in that regard. But they claim that they had to get ahead of it because it got leaked that he was going to get fired. And I need to know where the leak happened. Are y'all dealing with the leak? Because that's not cool. That shouldn't even be an issue to happen at all. So that means somebody in your inner circle is talking, or HR, who had a heads up on that, and then they needed to get that information to him before he heard it on social media, so they did it during a commercial break, because that's real classy. So I can understand if there's any bitter feelings towards how they handled it, but I just think he's going to land on his feet, and those emotions just didn't have to be displayed out for the world to see. It could have just been approached a little different way when you're talking about it. This is just how I see it. And we do appreciate you stopping by and spending time here on Messy Mondays. We'll be back next Monday. We're going to do a live tomorrow because Nolan Wells' friend Warren came out talking with Officer Tatum. And the more he talked, the more it was sounding like, what did you do to Nolan here? And then they did some audio isolation where you hear some questionable things that make you wonder what went on that boat and what really happened to Nolan Wells. So we're going to be talking about that on a live tomorrow. We'll see you later. Thank you so much for your support. You can find our Cash App here if you are enjoying the content. It helps to support the channel to bring you more great stories. And we'll have in the description how you can partner with us if you'd like to have your business, your product, or your service on Aries Rose TV. Have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening.